I told these guys coming into the game that they were, in my opinion, playing the hottest team in the conference. Oregon had lost at USC by 2. They lost at UCLA in overtime, and they've been on a tear ever since. Their last 5 games are incredible. They've been shooting the ball. All 5 guys have been scoring. They've been defending. You could really see that they had started to gel and had tremendous momentum coming into here. And for us to beat them, because our destiny lies in that Pac-12 tournament, and we still have work to do, and part of that work was proving to ourselves that we could play with the teams in the upper echelon. It was so important to play and close out of Colorado, and Utah was a skill game here. We let get away. To go win on the road at Cal was a big step towards the Pac-12 tournament. To take a team as physical as Stanford and be right there to win the game with the last shot was just tremendous growth for us. And now to come back home and take a team and a program that's as successful as Oregon is, and the athletes, the talent, the skill set that's on that team, how well coached they are, and play just it was a great college basketball game. The adjustments that Dana made were outstanding. The adjustments that we made were really good, and you just had some wonderful performances, and Malachi's was special. His last 5 games now, he's just been on a tear. It's been incredible. He's been as good as any point guard that I've had the opportunity to coach at this point in time in his career, with his leadership, hitting big shots, and more importantly, with his defense. Because the difference with us between early in the year and now, we defend better, we play tougher, we understand how to dig out the 50-50 balls, we understand how to keep you off the glass, and we just know how to grind through a game. Even when stretches of game don't go right, we continue to grind through it. And a lot of that has to do with your leadership on the floor, and that's Malachi. I thought Robo was fine, played well in the game. Viante Daniels hit big shot after big shot. So they all did something really well in the game to be able to put in this position. And it's just, I'm happy for them after everything they went through to hang in there with us and let us coach them. Let us coach them. And that's hard for young people to do, to have all that failure and still want to listen and be coached. And sure enough, they're getting some great rewards for their effort and their stick-to-itiveness and their commitment to Washington State basketball.
This is kind of the point of last year when Malachi started to slow down. He's doing the opposite, like you alluded to. How much of it is his kind of his stamina and being a sophomore now? How much of it is confidence and the mental part of it?
That's everything it is. You know, his body is bigger. He's stronger. He paid the price in the weight room during the off season. He understands how to get his rest and when to get his rest and all that stuff. And you're just better in your sophomore season of being able to play at this level and be more consistent. And not only is he hanging in there, he's getting better the further we get into the season. And that's a tribute, again, to him understanding what it takes to be successful at this level. And he's not the only one. You got to look at Robo and Viante Daniels. They didn't play many minutes last year. And look at the minutes they're logging now. And Viante has been consistent the entire season, and Robo's been special as well, too. So, you know, those guys paid a tremendous price in the offseason, and it's paying great dividends to them right now.
Does this game really show you Robo's value to the team when you don't have him down there in Eugene and kind of get blown out, and he comes back this game, obviously a great scorer and can do so many different things for you guys? You
know, I thought the game in Eugene, I believe there was like a 7-minute mark. We're only down 5 points, and they closed out the game in a flurry down the stretch. But I felt that was the game that we learned how to play tough. And I talked to Robo about that the last couple of days and told him he didn't realize how hard we played down there. We got every loose ball down there. And the thing that valued for Robo is the fact that you can put him at the top of your press and expend all that energy chasing Pritchard around at the top of the press and still have the stamina to score and finish off plays down the stretch. Again, that's a compliment to him and his body and the work he's done. He is very valuable to us, but so is Drick. I mean, for a guy that let's talk about Saturday, because here's a guy that gave up being the star in his conference to come to Washington State just to help us get better and and lead these guys and teach them how to be winners. Stevie Sprayrigan gave up being a star on his team at Division II to come to Washington State just to be a part of a team. You know, those guys are special, too, to me.
How do you feel about this being a potential first-round matchup in Las Vegas? I think they came in as the 6th. You guys are obviously 11. It seems like there's a decent chance you could play them again down there.
You know, we talked about that, too, that, you know, here was a team that we might meet again. And even in the first round or second round, that's why it was so important to play with them And you know, they'll come back at us differently if we have to match up with them. They'll have maybe an upper hand mentally, needing to prove something. But at the same time, it gives us an opportunity in the confidence factor that we played really well, but we can play better. We can block out and rebound better. Carter Skaggs needs to get back on his game and give me some more buckets because he's got wide open looks. There's some things we can do better as well too, but that's why it was so important to play them and play them tough because we knew we were probably going to play them again.
They came off the bench, 6 points, and kind of gave you guys some tough minutes in different sports. How'd you feel about his contributions?
I thought Arinze did a good job. I mean, he was great at the head of the press. It's difficult when you got Robo 6'7", and those long arms make him about 6'11" up there. Arinze 6'9", the long arms make him about 7 feet up there, and they're athletic enough to disrupt things at the top. And then Arinze hit the big three in the corner, hit the 2 free throws when he tried to dunk. I thought that was huge, hit a layup. He played, which he's the perfect guy to play when we're in that 1-3-1. He struggles in some other areas, but the 1-3-1 he can play. And that's why it's such a good defense for us because it can take us deeper into the bench and play a guy like Arinze.
Coach, Stephen Wiebe with the Daily News. You touched on Malachi's defense a little bit, but just to expand on that, I mean, the defensive rebounds he had and those 4 steals, just how big are those in a game like this?
You know, they're huge, and a part of this process of coaching his team and is you got to coach the crowd too because the crowd plays such a factor in this. Can you imagine? They were fantastic tonight. They roared up when we needed them to. I look forward to the day where there's 8,000 people in here and we got that 1-3-1 and we're trapping you. It puts so much more pressure on teams and it gives you so much more energy. But those steals change the game. Our defense is the reason we're playing so well right now because we can always score. But there's going to be nights where Carter Skaggs has a bad night. I didn't think we shot the ball particularly well in the first half, but we were good defensively when we went to the 1-3-1, and we played the 1-3-1 the entire second half but 1 possession. And then we started scoring again. So the defense is what is allowing us to play so well.
And then, you know, on the offensive end, I mean, Viante had a big 3 in the corner. There was a lot of big plays right down the stretch. Are there any of those that kind of stood out as maybe the turning point right at the end of the game there?
I thought there was a couple rebounds that Drake grabbed late. Carter saved the ball going out of bounds. And when we broke the press, because they caused us some problems in Eugene, and Viante hit that 3 in the corner, that's huge. And that shows you the firepower of this team to shoot it in rhythm with confidence, no hesitation. I thought that was a huge bucket that really turned the game for us.
When they go ahead, were you interested to see how your guys would respond?
You know, we've been in this situation coming down the stretch of games with Colorado, who came back on us. We had to hunt down to Colorado. Cal went ahead late in the game. We had to come back. In fact, Cal went ahead and come down and score a bucket to win the game, things like that. So I was interested to see, waiting to see if we would stay mentally tough. I knew Oregon was going to come back. They're too good. Pritchard's too good of a guard. Dana's too good of a coach. It was how we were going to handle when they came back. And again, we're learning how to close out games. And I thought we did a terrific job of keeping our composure and closing out. If Malachi had to hit that last free throw with 4 seconds to go, we were going to foul them and put them on the free throw line. I will tell you that right now. He misses it, and they get the timeout, and then it gives us a chance to make an adjustment. We take a look at what they're going to do, and we take the timeout and make the adjustment. We knew Pritchard was going to get the ball. Still can't believe he beat my double team even when we knew where he was going and got the shot off. But lucky for us, it came up short.
You talked about how this season you want to see your team learn to close out games, and they've been responding to that a lot recently. And how promising is it to see your team really responding to the things that you've been preaching?
I think the biggest thing with this team that we've talked about is we got off to a great start in Anaheim. We did not handle our success. We did not handle the start of conference play. And I told you on several occasions after games in here, it was very important that they learn how to win this year, learn how to defend this year, learn how to play tough this year, learn how to close out games this year. It'll make them that much better next season. And that's the key, because this team comes back, with the exception of Drake and Stevie Sprayreg, and everybody comes back, and they're learning how to do those things now, which is going to make their success next year even bigger. So I'm happy that they're figuring it out now. And we made some adjustments, and I've talked on this. about 4 weeks ago that we put the whole focus on the Pac-12 tournament and took the focus off the season. It gave them a chance to catch their breath and have a new vision, something to strive for where everybody starts out 0-0. But along the way, let's get better. Let's get better individually. Let's learn how to close. Let's learn how to win on the road. Let's learn how to compete with the bigger teams. So we've got them marching in the right direction to the Pac-12 tournament, because that's going to be a grueling tournament. But we can play with those teams if we can continue to get better.
You mentioned earlier about being able to close out games. I noticed throughout the season that, towards late in the games would be a 4 or 5 minute drought. Tonight, that wasn't the case. Can you explain the growth of that? The
biggest growth in that is experience. And, when you go through this conference, there are no night offs. Everybody's got an NBA player on the floor, sometimes two. Everybody's got experience on the floor, and we didn't have all of those things. So it takes time to learn how to win, learn how to close, learn how to compete. And I think in the second to last timeout, my comment to them was, we're at that point in time again in the game where, I'm 63 and sick. I'm coming to work, and I'm bringing my hard hat. They need to learn how to come to work and grind. You young people don't know how to grind. You stay home while your mom and dad's got to get them to go to work. And they laughed in a huddle, and Rick broke the huddle with, let's go to work. And they have to learn how to grind and work through adversity, and this is what they're learning how to do on a possession-by-possession basis over a 40-minute game, how to work. Malachi actually come out of the game at about the 8-minute mark for a blow, and then he turned to me and said, I'm okay, I'll stay. Well, that's huge growth, because he hit like 2 or 3 big buckets after that when he was literally just wiped out. He learned how to work and learn how to grind and fight through it. So that's huge development for this young team to understand how to grind like that and how to work. Those things that us elder statesmen, hello, John, in the room definitely know how to do. We know how to work.
So I asked your players this. They didn't really seem to really care about it, but you being a former Oregon coach and alum, winning a close game like this at home with WSU, is it special for you, or is it?
The special part comes that when we beat St. Mary's, and you knew that you started that program back in 1992 and in 96 or so, conference championship, conference tournament championship, and NCAA tournament. Randy's taking it to another height. You look at it and see where it is. You build it into a championship program, and it's still that today. You look at Oregon, where people thought there's no way you can win at Oregon. And we went in and put a blueprint and told them exactly what we're going to do. We're going to win. We're going to win the conference championship. We're going to go Elite Eights, Sweet 16, Final Four, and we're going to build a new arena. We did everything but go to a Final Four, but we built the new arena, went to Elite Eights, Sweet 16s, and then in comes Dana and takes a championship program and takes it to another whole level and takes them to a Final Four. The good thing about it is for Washington State to look at those two programs and realize we have the potential to do the same thing here. It takes time. It takes time. The recruiting's different. The selling of it is different this day and age. Getting young people to believe in you to come to Pullman and build this is different. It just takes time. But hopefully people can look at those two programs and understand they started where we started and look at where they're at today. That's the key. That's the good feeling about competing with them, is to help people in this community and that campus over there realize we can be that one day. And that's why we're here. And my voice is shot. That's it. See you.